Make it 2 wins in a row for the Bulls, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mentioned it in yesterday's post-game video, it is upsetting as a Bulls fan because you realize this team does have a lot of potential and just never really got their footing post-trade deadline. And now with both Zach and Vuce back in the lineup, the Bulls actually look like a playoff team despite the fact that they're unlikely to make it. Although they're still not out of it, just keep winning games and hope that this team ends up, coming out with some sort of winning streak here, and some of those other teams are going to start going on a losing streak. But anyway, as someone who can't stand the Celtics, this was a great win that got me hyped tonight. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. I'll likely have to make a separate video about this, but for all of the pain, the complaining, frustration, games that just made you want to pull your hair out from what we've seen throughout this season for the Bulls, we do have to take a step back and remind ourselves that this was an evaluation year. I know we've said that multiple times, but this was an evaluation year. The Bulls took a big swing at the trade deadline, took some time to gel in getting the new roster acclimated together. Our best player missed a considerable amount of time at the end of the season, and naturally that's going to impact the Bulls' consistency and developing any kind of cohesiveness. Granted, the Bulls still underperformed as a whole, and the season was a disappointment because even with all of that, you would expect the team to be at least able to finish in the top 10 in the East. But with all that said, as long as the Bulls can continue showing this type of play that they've showed tonight and last night for these remaining games to show to the league that this team does in fact have promise, but just found their stride when it was a little too late in the season. Because, as I also mentioned in last night's video, even if the Bulls do somehow win out for the rest of the year, it's unlikely that they're still going to make the play-in. But by winning consistently and showing signs of potential and promise going into the offseason can really help their free agency chances. And guys, there was a lot to be excited about this game. I mean, first of all, this was yet another blowout win, and again, against a good team. I know the Celtics were without Jaylen Brown, and they've had issues throughout the season, but the fact of the matter is this is still a good team. On top of that, another blowout win in a back-to-back game, a traveling back-to-back at that, when they played last night in Charlotte. And most importantly, Lavine looked like he was back to his old self after being a little rusty in last night's game, his first game back after being out for 11 games. Oh, and how could I forget the turnovers tonight? Single-digit turnover game for the Bulls. That is very rare. Only 9 turnovers tonight. And get this, the Bulls had back-to-back games where they shot the ball from deep better than they actually shot from the field as a whole overall. I'm still not a huge fan of that because you can live and die by the 3 in today's NBA, but when those shots are going down, you might as well take them. The Bulls also continued to rebound the ball and pass the ball well, and did this team really just play lockdown defense for the second game in a row tonight, holding their opponent to under 100 points again, limiting them to shooting 28% from 3. Jason Tatum, again, another rough outing for him against the Bulls thanks to incredible defense from Garrett Temple, Patrick Williams, and Thaddeus Young. Jason Tatum, who just put up a 60-piece the other night, goes 3 for 15 from the field, not making a single 3 and finishing with just 9 points. The Bulls simply played their game on him just like they did the last time around when the Bulls actually defeated the Celtics without Lavine. What was great to see tonight also was the dynamic duo of a backcourt in Coby White and Zach Lavine. We saw flashes of this earlier in the season, namely in that game where they combined for 17 threes, but then of course Coby fell off a bit, was demoted to coming off the bench. Then Lavine started to falter a bit after he got that ankle injury. Then he was out due to COVID right when Coby started picking things back up again. But tonight, combining for 50 points each with 25, and get this, they only combined for 2 turnovers, which were both on Coby White. Lavine had 0 turnovers this game, which is a very rare sight to see for him. Lavine had 5 rebounds to go along with his 25 points, shooting 10 for 24. Still a little bit rusty on 3, going 3 for 9, but then Coby White tonight, on top of his 25 points, he had 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal and a block, and had 7 threes to go with that. He was 7 for 12 from 3 tonight, 9 for 16 overall. He also finished plus 13 on the night. Vucevic, of course, another incredible game. He finished with a triple-double. You know, it feels like it's been a while since we've seen a Chicago Bull finish with a triple-double. 18 points, 14 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. You know me, I love guys who can grab offensive boards. And then he also had 10 assists to go along with 2 steals and a block. To all the haters out there saying that this was a bad trade because the Bulls didn't start performing instantly after the trade happened, now you can see how this is actually going to pay off going into next season. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't give Garrett Temple a shout out, because not only did he do an incredible job on Tatum the last time these two teams met, but he also locked him up again in this one. And in both of those games, his numbers didn't really show up that well in the box score, but despite only having 4 points in 29 minutes, he also finished the game with the highest box plus minus for the Bulls with plus 17. Anyway, just a great overall game, especially for the Bulls coming off a back-to-back, playing a quality team in the Celtics, and really showing yet again they're not going to give up. As long as they're not out of this thing completely, they're going to keep fighting. I know some fans don't like that. They would rather see us tank, but I would rather see my team come out competing hard every game and trying to win. That's what makes it exciting for us as a fan. A quick check on the scores tonight. Unfortunately, the Hornets did win in a close one against the Magic. Was hoping maybe they would fall again, given they were also playing in a back-to-back since they just played the Bulls. And then tomorrow, the Wizards and Pacers will go head-to-head, so the Bulls should be looking at that matchup to see who they can gain a game on. The Bulls are off tomorrow, and then we'll take on the Pistons on Sunday. Hopefully that'll be an easy game, and the Bulls don't play down to their competition like we have seen this season, but we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out in that one. Got to pick up wins, though, in those easy games against teams who aren't even looking to win at this point. Until then, though, I hope you guys enjoyed the game as much as I did. Maybe even some of you were actually able to make it out to the game, the first game with fans all season at the United Center. Enjoy your Friday night, and as always, guys, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.